Hi everyone, welcome to Parent Alienation with Child Abuse Unfiltered. Thank you all for being here today and welcome to the new subscribers. I thank you all and appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for joining me. Today's just a short video. It's an appreciation video. 12 months ago I started this channel, Parent Alienation with Child Abuse Unfiltered, as a way to raise awareness and to bring education to people out there about the trauma and the abuse that comes with parent alienation. I wasn't sure how this channel was going to be received, but I know this subject is a subject that affects a lot of children around the world and a lot of parents around the world. I felt compelled to start this channel after hearing so many children and so many adults going through the same situation of being isolated from their loving parent for an unnecessary reason. This channel, Parent Alienation is Child Abuse Unfiltered, specifically focuses on narcissistic parents that withhold their children and use their children as a weapon to cause hurt, not just to their ex-partner, to the extended families. But while they're doing this, they're also inflicting trauma and abuse on their own child. They're changing their own child forever. And why? The ones that I talk about on here is for spite. These people couldn't get over a relationship breakdown, and the only way that they could cause hurt to the other person, be it the mother, be it the father, is to have their child taken away or to have that child turned against that parent. They do this in various ways. They use manipulation, they use coercive control, they manipulate the child, they spread lies, they spread bullshit, they take these people to court, and then they spread more lies and bullshit in the court system. And the court system, as we've discussed before, is mainly based on a one-sided story. It's whoever gets in there first who gets to have their say, and 9 times out of 10, the other parent doesn't get to have their voice heard. And meanwhile, these children that these courts are supposed to be protecting and looking out for the best interest of these children are suffering irreversible damage and irreversible trauma at the hands of a narcissistic parent. My last video spoke about how narcissistic parents can take their frustrations out on these children just simply for the way these children may remind them of their ex-partner, be it in looks, be it in mannerisms. These children cop a hard time. These children cop a hard time if they cry at night time wanting their other parent. These children cop a hard time if they even speak about their other parent. These children lose contact with their loving parent, be it the mother, be it the father. As all my videos state on this channel, this is not a gender-specific thing. This happens to men as much as it does to women. There's no gender that does it more than the others. As much as people like to jump on my channel and try to point that out to me, that it's more men that do it. Oh no, it's more women that do it. No, it's not. It's an equal field, and I've had the unpleasant fortunate dealings with both sides of the field that I can say that. Their mannerisms, mannerisms and traits are very much the same. All you have to do is just change the name and these people are very much identical. Meanwhile, these children are left there. These children are left unsupervised, unprotected by a narcissistic person. These children don't just suffer verbal abuse. These children can suffer sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, lack of love, lack of care, coldness. The narcissistic parent doesn't care what they're doing. All they care about is one, themselves, and how much trauma and damage they can inflict on their ex-partner. Because Lord forbid this person left them and they're not happy with that. So therefore they use their child as a way to hurt. When I started this channel, I didn't know how it would be received. And since I've started this channel 12 months ago today, I've had over 600 people that have jumped on board, not just to listen to me, but to subscribe and to listen to me more. And for these people, I thank you and I appreciate you so much. You've given me the courage and the strength to go forth and keep talking about this subject. It's not an easy subject to talk about, and it's extremely heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking when you hear parents that have given up the fight. It's heartbreaking when you hear parents that don't want to be in the world anymore because they don't feel whole. And they don't feel whole. When you lose your child, you lose a piece of you. You have that gap in you that can't be filled by anything else. It's a void. And these people and these children go forth and try to struggle with life. they struggle with trust issues. They struggle with abandonment issues because they feel they've been abandoned by their parent. They don't understand that they're not being allowed to see their parent due to the narcissistic parent that's involved in visitations. We spoke before how these narcissistic people will use illness as a way the child can't come to visit, or they just get shitty and just withhold the child. And because the child's in their custody, be it by the law system or be it just by the simple fact they've taken them and feel like they're a piece of property that they can own and decide who's allowed to see them, these people feel all powerful and mighty, that they can manipulate a child and damage a child. Never quite understand the power that goes behind these people, that they think they're so wonderful that they're doing damage to their child. I really don't get that. Because what these people also don't understand is these children grow, these children remember. And as these children get older, these children do ask questions. And the truth does come out. Sometimes it takes a little longer than other times, but the truth does come out. And these narcissistic parents, 9 times out of 10, are left alone. These children turn their back on their parents for lying and withholding them from their other parent all these years out of pure bitterness and nastiness. We spoke before how relationships don't work out. That's part of life, and people need to learn that the relationship doesn't work out. That's just part of life. You need to move on. You don't have the right to manipulate a child and take a child away from its loving parent just because you can't get on with that person anymore. You don't have a right to change a child's life or a child's perspective on the world because of your own nastiness and selfishness. But these narcissistic people seem to think that they do. Anyway, that's kind of what this channel is about. And 12 months later, I never really thought that I'd be still here doing it. I'm not going anywhere. I've made that clear. These children need a voice and they've got me, and I'm not going anywhere until I feel comfortable that there is enough change going in the world and people are waking up. And I have reported before that people have reached out to me and have told me that, listening to my videos, that they have seen things in themselves that they didn't really recognise was doing damage to their child, and thanks to my videos that they've recognised that and have changed their behaviour. And that's all I want. That's all I'm here for, is to bring change. The legal system's screwed up. The legal system has, well, they say they have the best interest of the child, but the system itself screwed up. It's out of date, and they focus not on what's right for the child. It's who's got the most money. That's been my experience with it. Who's got the most money and who can spin the biggest bullshit. And the other person doesn't get a say. The other parent doesn't get their voice heard. The parent that gets in there and starts screaming domestic violence, as soon as they say that, then everybody starts pointing fingers. They don't care whether it's true or not. Because in this world of the society, when things go bad, you just scream domestic violence or sexual abuse, and people really feel sorry for you then. You must be the victim. And unfortunately, the court system falls into this trap as well. And these people go in there and manipulate the court system and manipulate the lawyers. And the real victims in the case doesn't get a say. They don't get to be told or get told their side of the story. These children don't get a voice. These children are dragged along for the ride. I've mentioned that in many of my videos before too, how children don't get a say with what happens in their lives. They're dragged to wherever their parent happens to just drag them to whatever situation these parents want to put these children into. It needs to stop. Kids need both parents in their life unless it's a proven case where these parents should not be in their lives. But it needs to be proven, not just someone saying something. People can say a lot of words, and words can be quite damaging. I've mentioned this before about when Johnny Depp had to clear his name against Amber Heard, how she went in there and bullshitted the court system about his behaviour and his conduct. And it took him many, many years to go in there and clear his name. And his lawyer that was there, and her words stuck in my head where she said, words matter. Because words matter. People can spew a lot of words out their mouth, and can do a lot of damage with those words. And that's why words matter. People need to look into what the words are and why people are saying things they say. Children need to be protected. Children need to be loved and nurtured and cared for. They don't need to be manipulated or used as a weapon to hurt. These children have their childhood robbed from them. It's taken from them. They're not happy little children. They're fearful children worrying what's going on at home. And that's not on. These children go to school and become misbehaving children or naughty children in the system because these children can't focus and can't concentrate what's going on. They're too busy what's happening at home. Just left home, Mum and Dad had another argument before I had to go to school today. Teacher's mad at me because I can't sit still because I can't focus properly. Mum and Dad had an argument yesterday afternoon, and I'm scared to go home this afternoon because I don't know if we're going to get another argument this afternoon. These are little things that the outside world don't see. These are things that these children are faced with on a daily basis. This is why I'm here. This is why I want to share stories about parent alienation and end this war on children, because that's what it is. Parent alienation is a war on children. It's children are placed in the middle when they don't need to be. Children should just be children, laughing, playing, learning, exploring the world around them, not fearful of what's going on at home between their parents who's made a bad decision, but they're the ones that pay the price for that. So this channel will continue to grow. I'm excited to see what the next 12 months brings. If you have stories of your own experiences with parent alienation or being left in the hands of a narcissist, I'd welcome you to reach out and tell me. The more people we can share stories about, and I don't mention names because I don't break into people's privacy, but they're just examples of the ongoing situations that people are in, the ongoing situation these children are in. And it's time to stop. So if you haven't already jumped on board and subscribed to my channel, I'd welcome you to do so. Let's keep growing this community. Let's keep spreading the word and spreading awareness about this situation. Let's turn some kids' lives around. Let's put some smiles on some children's faces instead of the lost and lonely looks that are in some of these kids' eyes. I mentioned before that if you see kids sitting quietly or withdrawn, because that's how it affects different kids. Different kids react differently. Some kids lash out and are frustrated and lash out and yell and throw things and have tanties. But it's not tanties, they're frustrated and they don't know how to voice their frustration. Parents don't listen to them. Parents don't listen to a young child. So these kids become hostile or aggressive. Then you get the other side. These kids come withdrawn, quiet, don't want to mingle with anybody, don't want to talk to anybody. These kids feel lost and alone, and they are. If they've been removed from a loving, nurturing family system, where they were involved with grandma, grandpa, uncles, aunties, nephews, nieces, cousins, siblings. Some children have siblings that they're ripped away from. They're removed from this family by a narcissistic parent. And that's what these parents do. They take these children, they remove them from all their family network. They remove them from their grandparents, their cousins, their aunties, siblings. These children are left alone. These children are left alone with a narcissistic parent that's full of spite and hate. And these children cop with frustrations because of that, as I said before. These kids are lost and alone. They're not allowed to cry out for their extended families. They're not allowed to cry out for their mum or dad, whoever it happens to be that's been left behind. They have to put on this facade that they're happy, that they're happy with the narcissistic parent, that they do everything to keep that person on the good side, because you don't want to be on the bad side of a narcissistic person. You don't want to be copying their frustrations, because that's the abuse that these children copy. So let's end this war on kids. Parent alienation is child abuse, and it's time it's recognised for what it is and what it does. It's abuse of a child that changes a child's life forever. These children carry the scars into their adult years, into their senior years. And that's not acceptable. These narcissistic parents may think that they're doing what's right for them, not for their child. But they probably think that what they're doing is not going to affect their child. Kids are little, they won't remember. They won't remember who their ex-mother was or who their ex-father was or any of the extended families. Got news for you. Kids remember everything. And one day you will be held accountable for what you've done and the things you've said. These children will come back and we'll be asking questions. Hope you're ready. So if you haven't already liked and subscribed, I'd welcome you to do so. I'm going to leave it there today because, like I said, this is just an appreciation video. But as always, I start talking and my mouth just keeps going. But I do want to thank you guys. I really do. I'll be doing another video very soon, as I stated in my last video at the end, but I'm going to do one on a child's perspective, on what it's like to be a child and sit there and watch your parents implode on each other. Stay tuned for that one. It's coming. Anyway, guys, thank you all again for here. I appreciate every single one of you for joining me. And for those who have reached out and shared your stories with me, thank you. I appreciate that. And anyone else that wants to reach out and share their stories, I'm here. I'll listen. I'm good at that. I'm a really good listener. Anyway, thank you all. And I'll catch you all in my next one. See you guys. Bye.